Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, I am the CHALL and welcome to a DRFC Daily Report, bringing the latest news from Doncaster Rovers. It's been a week and a half since we played some football, but we are back in action on Friday night. I will see you all there. But this video is on the January transfer window. Bit of news and a bit of updates as to what we can expect or what we could possibly expect in the window in terms of action. But before we get started, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell to never shoot YouTube video. The socials at the bottom of your screen and in the description down below as well. And for now, let's get straight into this one. So this is from the Free Press and it states as follows. EFL clubs are allowed to bring in further loan players and permanent additions from January the 1st to January the 31st, with the Chief Executive Gavin Baldwin pledging funds for fresh recruits. Now, if you want a bit more context, first of all, into that story, this was back when Gary McSheffrey was manager, back on the 24th of September, and apparently Doncaster Rovers would be disappointed if they're not in contention for promotion at the end of the season. And basically at the time, obviously this was when this was just before we were about to face Crawley. And Baldwin said, from the finances that were made available, it would be disappointing if we weren't in contention for promotion at the end of the season, whether that's automatic or the playoffs. From an emotional perspective, as much as anything, no one wants to be in League 2. From the financial side, League 1 is a far better place to be. The finances should allow that to be a real possibility. And it's understood, according to the Free Press, that Doncaster boasts one of the highest budgets in the fourth tier. And Baldwin was also quizzed on Rovers' recent form and what it meant for McSheffrey at the time. Baldwin said he's not going to give you the time scale, but in terms of results, good at the start, but the performances weren't following the results. Obviously, we knew all about that. But that was the thing with January and further funds. He said, we always have for January, but equally with the money that's been made available up front, it would be disappointing if we don't end up in contention for promotion. There's funds available. Not exactly how much, but there is funds available, apparently. Now, back on this story, January presents a big opportunity for Danny Schofield to continue his mark on the team, having taken over on a group assembled by predecessor Gary McSheffrey. Schofield told the Free Press he does not have the specific number of targets in mind, and added, we are always looking to add to the squad to improve it. We have some real quality players in the squad at the moment, but you are always looking to add and improve, and discussions are ongoing. Obviously, Miller scored 9 of Donny's 23 goals this term, almost 40% of their total. There are concerns they are too reliant on their top scorer, but Schofield will not be drawn on whether he intends to add another striker to his ranks. He said, I don't want to specifically say we are going to recruit in this position. It's got to be the right person, definitely, and the right player. One who can add a lot of value to the squad. Agard has contributed to the attacking cause with 3 goals and 2 assists. Griffiths is once again fit and available for selection. Andrews. Now, this was an interesting one, Josh Andrews, and this has come from another article in the last 24 hours or so. Now, Josh Andrews is one player who could be set to depart in January. The towering forward has not played since August due to tendinitis in his knee, and is due to see a stint in South Yorkshire end in the new year. Currently back at Birmingham for treatment, and Schofield said, I've not had direct discussions about Josh. I think he's still struggling with tendinitis. He's still not fit, so we have to have discussions around him, and a decision will be made closer to January. But I think we've got a pretty good assumption that Andrews will not be here. You know, I personally don't think Andrews will be here post-January. I think he'll be gone anyway. I think he's already gone anyway, for me personally. Now, Schofield, who's a keen player developer, was confident of being able to recruit his ideal target or targets in January. He said there is players available. We research potential loan spells, players who've not really been competed in this league, and try and spot the potential. So that's a really, good thing with Schofield. The majority of Rovers' current squad are in what's known as the development phase, age 24 or under, but Schofield does not plan to recruit exclusively from that bracket. We are looking at different areas of where players are and where they're going to come from. Now, obviously, in terms of outgoings, Ravenhill is another one who's been talked about for a loan deal out of Rovers. He could depart before January. In the likely event, he'll head for another non-league team. Of course, he turned 20 this week, featuring 11 times at first team level. Now, I have got a huge video to come at the end of December, and that is the big video, the big January recruitment plan video. I'm working with some journalists, working with a couple of analysts, some scouts, to really come up with this this big video. We've got this final shortlist. Some people may be surprised about some of the names that I've got on this list, and some of the names that we've all come together and agreed on this list. Some people may say, well, why have we got him? He's played in non-league, is this, and this. But you might actually warm up to the idea eventually. But let's just discuss overall what we know from those couple of articles then. So Baldwin says there's funds available. Not a lot of people are going to believe him. Me personally, I'm one of those believe it till I see it guys now. I'm one of those believe it till I see it guys. Obviously, you know, it's not just plain as it can be. You know, it's not just, oh, why don't we spend a couple of £100,000 on a player from the Championship who hasn't got a lot of game time, who's got a lot of potential, who can play at League 2 level and grow from there, who can grow his selling value and stuff like that. It's nothing to do with that. It's not as plain as that. Funds available does not mean just transfer fees. It means wages every week. It means bonuses, clauses in the contract. It means everything to do with the deals. And for me personally, it's not as plain as some people may think. For me, from my understanding, I believe the budget is all right. I think the budget is decent. I think and I've said this many times in the videos, if we work smartly, we will accomplish the most out of these deals, whoever they may be. So that's how I would sort of sum up the situation. I would look at it as we have to work smarter rather than work more expensively. Because if we work smarter than some clubs who just throw money at things, we may get better. We may get better results. It's not a given right, but we may get better results if we work smarter rather than more expensive. Of course, we can't financially compete with the Bradfords. We can't financially compete with the Leyton Orients, you know, things like, and you know, in this division anyway, and you know, going up into League, if we're going to go up into League One in the next couple of seasons, including this season, we can't financially compete with the Charltons, the Sheff Wednesdays, the Ipswiches, the Portsmouths, the Plymouths. We can't financially compete with them at this moment in time. So what we have to do is work smarter, bring in the gems on little to no money, but you work on the pitch to fulfill their potential. And we have been known most of the time as a selling club. We sell those people on in a few years down the line for a decent profit, not just an itty-bitty little price. Then we'll reap some of them rewards back and reinvest that. And the board better reinvest that. And they need to reinvest that. So it is a process. And for that, we've got to back the manager, stick behind the manager. Can't keep sacking managers now. Wellens was the first guy we sacked since Sean O'Driscoll, and since then we've sacked another manager, Gary McSheffrey. We can't keep sacking managers now. We've got to stick with Schofield and the way he plays, the way he sets up, the way he formates his squad. We've got to back him and give him at least we've got to give him at least 2 years to try and turn the situation around. If we don't go up this year, you keep Schofield on to get you up the following year. And I know people come in the comments and say, well, we should be going up because the board said, you know, decisive promotion, if we don't go up, it's a failure. I agree. The board did say that. Ultimately, it is a failure because according to them, with Danny Schofield coming in as head coach, nothing's changed in terms of the goals for the season. So if we don't go up, it is a failure. However, I'm not holding my breath when you look at the other squads in that division right now. Obviously, we've got we've still got a few months of the season to go. We've still got at least half a season to go. So anything can happen between now and the end of the season. But I'm not 100% banking on us going up this year. Purely and simple. And it's not me saying I don't want us to go up, because I want us to go up. Of course you do. Every fan wants their club to go up. But I don't bank on us 100% getting it this season. If we don't, then it's a failure because they said it in the first place anyway. But I don't bank on us personally feeling that we're going to get it at this point in time. Obviously, they can give me about 6 months to prove me wrong, and we'll let things develop. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Like I said, big January transfer window video coming at the end of the month in December. And for now, guys, I'm the CHALL. Ta-ra for now.